Alright guys, what is going on? I'm Tubby. Do me a favor if you can hit that like button, I'd really appreciate it. We're talking about Over the Limit predictions, and you have a tag team of Dolph Ziggler and Jack Swagger challenging Kofi Kingston and R-Truth for the titles. If you guys go listen to the Yes Wrestling podcast, the link is in the description. We broke down everything, me and Havoc 83, about the Over the Limit pay-per-view, and we had a huge discussion about the tag team division and how sad it is. That they don't have legitimate tag teams that actually come up together. And I think that's one of the biggest problems in the tag team division. They're trying to make it more unique and more, out there. They're trying to throw together a lot of tag teams, but you can't just throw together tag teams. I mean, the most successful tag teams are ones that came up together. Look at the Rockers, look at the Legion of Doom, look at the Road Warrior. I mean, come on. Throwing together R-Truth and Kofi Kingston, is it just because they're black? I mean, what is the motivation behind it? And you can't even come up with a name. I mean, what do you, Boom Jimmy, the Jimmy Boom? I don't know. I don't know what it's going to be. But come to pay-per-view time, I think, and Havoc predicted this on the podcast, that, Dolph Ziggler needs some gold. In some way, shape, or form, Dolph Ziggler should get some gold. He's an absolute beast. He's probably the best seller in the WWE currently. And, he puts in so much work. People don't realize this, but at the dark events, he's usually one of the main events, going up against Chris Jericho or CM Punk or John Cena. And he really is like a company guy. He does pretty much anything they tell him to. And I really like Dolph Ziggler. He's fast becoming one of my favorite superstars in the WWE currently. And one of the things that keeps happening, and I keep seeing, and that's pissing me off, is the fact that, there's really nothing being used by him. They're not really using him much for anything. He has the storyline going now with Zack Ryder potentially to face him at WrestleMania 29 for the title of the Internet Championship. That's all fine and great. I think that's cool. But that's a year away. That doesn't really build him up now. He's with Jack Swagger and Vicky Guerrero, and Vicky Guerrero is so over, it's not even funny. People hate her so much. When she starts screaming and "excuse me," the fans love to hate her. And that's a good thing in the WWE. Any reaction is better than no reaction at all. And the reaction for Vicky Guerrero is exactly what the WWE wants, and it's the same reason why they haven't broke up these three. This trio should have been broken up a long time ago, in my opinion, but they just work so well together for some reason. You saw on Monday Night Raw how they cost him the win and Dolph got all pissed. I think eventually we'll finally get a storyline where these two break up. That was a speculation last year when it was Dolph Ziggler was the United States champion. Everybody had said, okay, they're going to break up and they're going to have a feud. And they didn't. They stayed together for the last probably about a year now that they've been a tag team together, and building up to finally be a tag team. I mean, I don't like Jack Swagger. Jack has just basically fizzled. He was the world heavyweight champion after he cashed it in, and ever since he's done absolutely nothing. There's nothing that he can do, really. I mean, they don't give him the TV time. He's really not that good on the microphone. His hairdo now is horrible. And I almost feel bad for him that he's not, being used at all. And he's basically jobbing out to everybody, losing all the time. He was with Michael Cole last year. I mean, come on. I mean, when your main goal is to run around the WrestleMania ring because you're the trainer of a guy competing, that's kind of a low point. Sure, you're on the show and you're a part of it, which you still get a paycheck, but it's got to be a little disappointing. And then if you take a look at R-Truth and Kofi Kingston, or Kofi, they actually had a legitimately interesting tag team in Air Boom. And then Evan Bourne went and failed to drug test, which is a huge problem. And it's kind of a kick to the stomach to R-Truth. Not R-Truth, but Kofi Kingston, who, I feel bad for the guy. He had a good tag team, and then it was wrecked by his partner. Matthew just couldn't stay off those damn drugs. And, R-Truth failed the drug test as well. And now they've kind of thrown them together as a tag team. And, overall, I think the fans really like him because Kofi's pretty well over. And R-Truth's little Jimmy gimmick is going over pretty well now that he's back to being good R-Truth instead of being the bad R-Truth from the horrible Miz and Awesome Truth that, went on last year. Once again, a tag team that was just thrown together. And I think everybody keeps saying, we need a tag team division, we need a tag team division. If you want legitimate tag teams, you're going to have to start bringing them up from developmental and FCW working as tag teams. Please, WWE, stop just throwing together people. Your old top superstars, I think it was Arn Anderson, who said that tag teams have to come up together. Don't just throw them together, let them build together, and, then they'll be successful. And I honestly, truly believe that, in my mind, that if these tag teams come up together, they will be successful, and we will have a good reign as tag team champions. You have the Usos, who are somewhat getting better. They were not very fan favorite as of late. There's a lot of people still hating on them, but you have Primo and Epico, who should be used more, and I hope they are. And it'll be interesting to see what happens. I'm going to go ahead and say that Jack Swagger and Dolph Ziggler win, pick up the titles, and hopefully Dolph Ziggler at least gets some recognition on TV come July 23rd. And hopefully he gets that Iron Man match you wanted, guys. My name is Tubby out.